I stood in the corner of the grand ballroom, champagne flute trembling in my hand, watching my mother raise her glass to toast my sister's perfect wedding. 300 guests. Crystal chandeliers. A 12-tier cake that probably cost more than my car. Everything was white and gold and sparkling, like something out of a fairy tale. And my mother looked so proud. So impossibly proud. That's when she turned to me. Her eyes were glowing with champagne and joy, and she smiled that smile I used to dream about as a little girl. The smile that said I mattered. That I was enough. "Emma, darling," she said, loud enough that the people around us turned to listen. "Your sister's wedding is absolutely perfect, isn't it? Now tell me, when is it going to be your turn?" The ballroom seemed to go quiet. Or maybe that was just in my head. Maybe it was just my heart stopping for a second, remembering what she'd forgotten. What she'd chosen to forget. I looked at her. Really looked at her. And I felt something crack inside my chest. 8 months ago, Mom, I said. My voice came out steadier than I expected. It already happened. 8 months ago. You were invited. She blinked. Confused. Like I'd just told her the sky was green. Your favorite daughter, I continued, and I watched her face change as the words landed, through the invitation in the trash. If you're enjoying this so far, don't forget to like this video and watch till the end. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what happened next. The color drained from my mother's face. Not slowly. All at once. Like someone had pulled a plug. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out. Around us, the conversations had actually stopped now. People were staring. My sister, across the room in her $10,000 dress, had frozen mid-laugh. "What?" my mother whispered. "You heard me," I said. April 15th. Garden ceremony. 42 guests. You received the invitation in February. I hand-delivered it to your house. Do you remember now? Or should I keep going? I could feel tears burning behind my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. Not here. Not now. Not after everything. My mother's hand went to her throat. She was wearing pearls. Real ones. The ones my grandmother left her. The ones she'd promised to let me wear at my wedding. "Emma, I don't understand." You never got it," I finished for her. "Right. That's what you're going to say. But you did. I watched you open the mailbox that day. I watched you take the cream-colored envelope with the wax seal. I watched you smile and say you'd look at it later. And then I left because I had to get to work." She was shaking her head. No. No, I would have remembered. I would have asked Vanessa about it? I suggested. Because that's what you should have done. That's what a mother who cared would have done. Vanessa. My sister. My older, perfect, golden child sister who was currently walking toward us, her wedding dress trailing behind her like a cloud of expensive fabric and broken promises. "Emma," she said, her voice sweet as poisoned honey, "what's going on? You're making a scene." I laughed. Actually laughed. It came out sharp and bitter, and I didn't care. "A scene? This is rich coming from you." "I don't know what you're talking about, the invitation, Vanessa." I turned to face her fully. "The one I hand-delivered to Mom's house. The one that somehow disappeared before she ever saw it. The one you found first." Something flickered in her eyes. Just for a second. Guilt. Or maybe satisfaction. With Vanessa, it was always hard to tell. "You're being dramatic," she said. "It's my wedding day. Can't you just be happy for me? Happy for you?" The words tasted like ash. You want me to be happy for you? My mother finally found her voice. Girls, please. Not here. Not now. But I was done protecting her feelings. Done protecting everyone's feelings but my own. Do you want to know what happened, Mom? Do you actually want to know? Or are you going to keep pretending that your precious Vanessa can do no wrong? Emma, stop it. Vanessa's voice had gone cold now. Sharp. The sweetness evaporating like it had never existed. I got married 8 months ago, I said, and my voice was rising now, carrying across the ballroom. To a man I love more than anything in this world. In a small garden with our closest friends. I wore Grandma's dress. The one she left for me. Not you. Me. And I wanted my family there. I wanted my mother there. Tears were streaming down my face now, hot and angry and 8 months overdue. I addressed the invitation myself. I used calligraphy. I spent 3 hours on just your invitation, Mom, because I wanted it to be perfect. I wanted you to know how much it meant to me. How much I wanted you there. My mother's face had gone from white to red. Emma, if I had known, you would have what? Shown up? Or would you have called me and told me you were too busy? That you had plans? That Vanessa needed you for another dress fitting or cake tasting or whatever excuse you always use. That's not fair, my mother said, but her voice was weak. Because she knew. We both knew. Vanessa tried to take my arm. Emma, you're drunk. Let's get you some water, I jerked away from her. Don't touch me. Don't you dare touch me. I didn't know about your wedding, she said, and she sounded sincere. She was good at that. Sounding sincere. If I had known, I would have, you did know. The words came out flat. Final. Because you're the one who took the invitation from Mom's mail pile. You're the one who opened it. Read it. And threw it away. The ballroom was completely silent now. 300 people holding their breath. That's a lie, Vanessa said. Why would I do that? Because you couldn't stand it. My voice was shaking. You couldn't stand that for once, I might have something of Mom's attention. That for once, it wouldn't all be about you. You're insane, she said. But she'd taken a step back. And her hand was pressed against her chest like she was trying to hold something in. Or hold something back. Am I? Then explain this. I pulled out my phone. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped it. But I managed to open my photos. Managed to find the one I'd been carrying around for months like a knife against my heart. I held it up. It was a screenshot. A message from Vanessa's phone to someone named Marcus. Dated February 17th. 3 days after I'd delivered the invitation. The message read, just handled the Emma situation. Mom won't find out. Crisis averted. Can't have her trying to compete with my engagement announcement. My mother grabbed my phone. Stared at the screen. Her hand went to her mouth. Where did you get this? Vanessa's voice was different now. Panicked. Desperate. Your phone. I said it calmly. Too calmly. Back in March. When you asked me to watch your apartment while you and Mom went on that spa weekend together. The one I wasn't invited to. I was looking for a phone charger. Found yours unlocked on the counter. Found a lot of interesting things, actually. You went through my phone? She said it like I was the villain. Like I was the one who'd done something wrong. You destroyed my wedding invitation, I shot back. You kept our mother from one of the most important days of my life. So yeah, Vanessa. I went through your goddamn phone. My mother was crying now. silent tears running down her carefully made-up face. "Baby," she whispered, looking at me. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." "But you should have," I said. "Don't you see? You should have wondered why you didn't get an invitation. You should have asked. You should have cared enough to notice that I stopped talking about wedding plans. That I stopped calling every day. That I just stopped." "I thought you were busy with work," she said weakly. "I was busy getting married," I said. "Without you." Vanessa was looking around the ballroom frantically, like she was trying to find an escape route. Her perfect wedding was crumbling around her, and for the first time in her life, she couldn't control the narrative. "You're ruining my wedding," she said. "On purpose. You're doing this on purpose because you're jealous." I laughed again. That same bitter, broken sound. "Jealous? Of this?" I gestured around at the elaborate decorations, the expensive flowers, the designer dress. "Of a party where you invited 300 people to watch you marry a man you barely know? Where half the guests are Mom's friends and the other half are people you're trying to impress." "You don't know anything about Marcus and me," she said. "I know you met him 6 months ago," I replied. "I know this wedding has been planned for 4 months. I know you're doing this because I got engaged first and you couldn't stand it." That landed. I saw it in her eyes. The truth. "I was engaged for a year," I continued. "A whole year. And you couldn't be happy for me. Couldn't even pretend. Every time I tried to talk about my wedding, you'd change the subject. Or you'd bring up something about yourself. Or you'd just walk away. Because all you did was talk about it," Vanessa snapped. "It was Emma's wedding this, Emma's wedding that. I was tired of hearing about it. So you made sure Mom wouldn't hear about it at all." The accusation hung in the air like smoke. My mother was looking at Vanessa now. Really looking at her. And I saw something I'd never seen before in her eyes. Doubt. "Did you?" she asked. Her voice was barely audible. "Vanessa, did you do what Emma is saying?" "It's not what you think," Vanessa started. "It's exactly what she thinks," I interrupted. "You took the invitation. You hid it. You made sure Mom would miss my wedding. And then you got engaged 3 weeks later and made it everyone's problem." "I didn't get engaged because of you," Vanessa said. But her voice had lost its edge. She sounded tired now. "Caught? No? Then why did you send me that text? The one that said, 'Guess who's getting married in a castle?' Sorry, your garden party won't be the only wedding this year." My mother gasped. "Vanessa. She's twisting everything," Vanessa said. "She's always been jealous of me. Always trying to compete. This is just another stop." My mother's voice cut through the air like a blade. "Stop talking." Vanessa's mouth snapped shut. She looked genuinely shocked. Mom never told her to stop talking. Mom never told her no. "Is it true?" my mother asked. "Did you take Emma's invitation? Did you keep me from my daughter's wedding?" The silence stretched out. Long enough that people started shifting uncomfortably. Long enough that someone's phone camera flash went off. Long enough that I could hear my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. "I was protecting you," Vanessa finally said. "From disappointment." "What?" My mother's voice broke on the word. Her wedding was going to be small. Cheap. In someone's backyard. "I knew you'd be embarrassed. I knew people would talk. So I just didn't tell you. I was going to tell you after. After it was done and you didn't have to feel bad about missing it." I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. "You were protecting her?" I said. From being embarrassed by me? That's not what I meant, Vanessa backtracked. I just meant, you meant exactly what you said. My voice was shaking again. You thought my wedding wasn't good enough. Wasn't big enough. Wasn't expensive enough. So you decided our mother shouldn't go. Girls, my mother said weakly. Please. But I wasn't done. I'd held this in for 8 months. 8 months of holidays where Vanessa sat at the head of the table talking about her wedding plans. 8 months of phone calls where my mother asked me when I was going to settle down, apparently having forgotten that I already had. 8 months of smiling and nodding and pretending my heart wasn't broken. You want to know what the worst part was? I asked. I wasn't talking to Vanessa anymore. I was talking to my mother. The worst part was walking down the aisle without you. I had my friend Sarah's mom stand in for you. Do you understand that? A stranger walked me down the aisle because my own mother didn't show up. I didn't know, my mother sobbed. Emma, please, I didn't know. But you should have. I was crying again, but I didn't care anymore. You should have known something was wrong. You should have asked. You should have cared enough to notice that your daughter got married and you weren't there. I do care. I love you. You love the idea of me, I said. But you love Vanessa more. You always have. That's not true. But her voice was uncertain. Like she wasn't sure anymore. Like maybe she was starting to see what I'd been seeing my whole life. When we were kids, I said, and we both got report cards, whose did you put on the fridge? When we both had recitals, whose did you invite your friends to? When we both needed help with homework, who did you sit with first? Emma, that's not, it was always her. The words came out broken. Raw. It was always Vanessa. The pretty one. The popular one. The one who made you proud. You made me proud too, my mother said, but it sounded hollow. Like she was reading from a script. Did I? Then why don't you know anything about my life? Why don't you know that I got a promotion last year? Or that David and I bought a house? Or that we're trying to have a baby? That stopped her. You're what? Trying to have a baby, I repeated. For 3 months now. But you didn't know that. Because you never ask. You only call to tell me about Vanessa's latest achievement or to ask me when I'm going to be more like her. My mother was shaking her head. I never said that. You didn't have to. I wiped my eyes. Actions speak louder than words, Mom. And your actions have been pretty clear my whole life. Vanessa had been silent through all of this. Just standing there in her wedding dress, watching her perfect day disintegrate. But now she spoke. This is so typical of you, she said. Making everything about you. It's my wedding day, and you have to ruin it because you can't stand that I'm happy. I turned to her slowly. Happy? You think this is about happiness? What else would it be about? Revenge, I said simply. This is about revenge. The word seemed to echo through the ballroom. People gasped. Actually gasped. Like we were in some kind of soap opera. But I meant it. Every syllable. You took something from me, I said. Something I can never get back. So I'm taking something from you. What are you talking about? Vanessa's voice had gone high. Scared. Do you want to tell her, or should I? I looked at Marcus, Vanessa's groom, who'd been standing awkwardly nearby this whole time. His face went pale. Emma, don't. Don't what? Vanessa looked between us. What is she talking about? Marcus and I went to college together, I said. Did he tell you that? So what? Vanessa said. He knew you. Big deal. We didn't just know each other, I continued. We dated. For 2 years. Junior and senior year. The color drained from Vanessa's face. That's not true. It is, Marcus said quietly. Emma and I dated in college. And you didn't think to tell me? Vanessa's voice was shrill now. You didn't think that was important information? It was a long time ago, Marcus said. It didn't matter. Didn't matter? Vanessa rounded on him. She's my sister. Ex-boyfriend, I clarified. Ancient history. Water under the bridge. Until you brought him to Christmas dinner and introduced him as your new boyfriend. That had been 7 months ago. 1 month before my wedding. Vanessa had shown up at our mother's house with Marcus on her arm, glowing with that particular smugness that said she'd won something. And I'd nearly dropped my wine glass when I saw who it was. You knew, Vanessa said to me. You knew we were dating and you didn't say anything. I was trying to be the bigger person, I said. I was trying to be happy for you, even though it was weird. Even though Marcus and I had history. I figured if you really loved him, I could get over it. How generous of you, Vanessa sneered. But then you destroyed my wedding invitation, I continued. And I realized something. You didn't fall for Marcus by accident. You chose him specifically because he was mine first. That's insane, Vanessa said. But she was looking at Marcus now, something ugly dawning in her eyes. Is it? I asked. Because I seem to remember you asking me about my exes 6 months ago. Asking me if I'd stayed in touch with anyone from college. If there was anyone I regretted losing. That was just conversation, Vanessa said weakly. And then 3 weeks later, you ran into Marcus at a coffee shop. How convenient. It was a coincidence, Vanessa insisted. Was it? I pulled out my phone again. Because I have an email here from Marcus's roommate. Todd. Remember Todd? He says Vanessa reached out to him in February asking for Marcus's number. Says she told him she wanted to reconnect because she'd heard great things about him from me. Marcus was staring at Vanessa now. You told me we met by accident. We did, Vanessa said. But she was backing up now. Literally backing away. You hunted him down, I said. You found out he was my ex, and you went after him because you wanted something that was mine. He's not your property, Vanessa snapped. He made his own choice. Did he? I looked at Marcus. Did she tell you about my wedding? About the invitation she threw away? Did she mention that she was keeping our mother from attending? Marcus looked sick. No. Did she tell you that she got engaged to you exactly 3 weeks after I got engaged to David? That this entire relationship has been one long competition? That's not true, Vanessa said. But her voice had lost all conviction. Then why did you schedule your wedding for the exact same weekend as my 1-year anniversary? I asked. That stunned her. I could see it in her face. You thought I wouldn't notice, I said. But I did. October 7th. The date I got married. The date you chose for your wedding. That was the only date the venue had available, Vanessa said. Really? Because I called them yesterday. They had 12 other dates available this fall. But you specifically requested October 7th. The ballroom was completely silent now. 300 people watching the golden child crumble. Why? I asked. Why couldn't you just let me have something? Why did you have to take everything? Because you don't deserve it, Vanessa said. The words came out in a rush, like she'd been holding them in her whole life. You don't deserve Mom's attention. You don't deserve to be special. You don't deserve any of it. There it was. The truth. Ugly and raw and finally out in the open. Why? I asked again. What did I ever do to you? You existed, Vanessa said. You existed and suddenly I had to share. Share Mom, share Dad before he left, share everything. And you were always right behind me. Always copying me. Always trying to be me. I wasn't trying to be you, I said. I was trying to be loved. Well, it didn't work, Vanessa spat. Mom loves me more. She always has. And there's nothing you can do about it. I looked at my mother. She was crying openly now, mascara running down her cheeks. And she was looking at Vanessa like she'd never seen her before. Is that what you think? My mother asked. Her voice was barely a whisper. It's what I know, Vanessa said. You've always chosen me. Always put me first. Always, because you demanded it, my mother interrupted. Because from the moment Emma was born, you made me choose. Every day. Every moment. You threw fits if I held her. You broke her toys. You told her she was ugly and stupid and worthless. She is, Vanessa said. Then she seemed to realize what she'd said. I mean, she's not, but you bullied your own sister, my mother said. And I let you. I let you because it was easier than fighting with you. Easier than dealing with your tantrums. Easier than being a good mother. Mom, Vanessa said. Her voice had gone small. Young. I failed Emma, my mother continued. I failed her because I was weak. Because I was tired. Because I took the easy path. She turned to me. I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. I didn't know what to say. I'd waited my whole life to hear those words. But now that they were here, they felt hollow. Empty. Too late. I missed your wedding, my mother said. I missed one of the most important days of your life because I was too blind to see what was happening in my own family. Yes, I said. You did. I want to make it up to you, she said. I'll do anything. Please. Tell me how to fix this. I looked around the ballroom. At the 300 guests. At the expensive decorations. At Vanessa in her designer dress. At Marcus looking confused and betrayed. At my mother with her running mascara and her broken expression. You can't, I said finally. You can't fix it. It's done. Emma, please, no. I shook my head. I spent my whole life begging for your attention. Begging to be seen. Begging to matter. And you know what? I'm done begging. I turned to leave. But then I stopped. Looked back at Vanessa. Oh, and one more thing, I said. Marcus? He cheated on me. Twice. Once with his TA and once with a girl from his study group. Just thought you should know what you're marrying. Marcus's face went red. That was years ago. I was young, and he told me he loved me the day before he slept with someone else, I continued. So, you know. Good luck with that. I walked away. Out of the ballroom. Through the hotel lobby. Out into the cool October air. And I didn't look back. My phone started ringing almost immediately. My mother. Then Vanessa. Then Marcus. Then numbers I didn't recognize. Probably guests from the wedding wanting the full story. Wanting gossip. Wanting to be part of the drama. I turned off my phone. I got in my car and I drove. Not home. Not yet. I couldn't face David with all of this still fresh and bleeding. I drove to the beach. The same beach where David and I had gotten married 8 months ago. It was sunset. The sky was painted pink and orange and purple. The water was dark and calm. And I sat in the sand and I finally let myself feel everything I'd been holding in. I cried. I screamed. I threw shells at the water. I cursed and sobbed and broke down completely. And then, slowly, I started to feel lighter. Because I'd done it. I'd finally said everything I'd been too scared to say. I'd finally stood up for myself. I'd finally stopped being small and quiet and easy to ignore. I'd finally chosen me. My phone buzzed. I'd turned it back on without thinking. A text from David. Where are you? Your mom's been calling me. Are you okay? I smiled. A real smile. The first one in hours. I'm at our beach. Come find me? He was there in 20 minutes. He sat down next to me in the sand, pulled me close, and didn't ask questions. Just held me while I cried some more. I ruined her wedding, I finally said. Good, David said. She deserved it. I told everyone about Marcus. Also good. I made my mother cry. She made you cry first, David pointed out. For years. I laughed. It came out wet and broken, but it was still a laugh. I don't know if she'll ever forgive me, I said. Do you care? David asked. I thought about it. Really thought about it. No, I said. I don't think I do. And I meant it. The next few weeks were chaos. My mother called every day. Sometimes multiple times a day. Leaving voicemails. Sending texts. Begging me to talk to her. Begging me to forgive her. Begging me to give her another chance. I didn't answer. Not yet. I needed space. Time. Distance from the hurt. Vanessa's wedding had continued after I left, but apparently it was a disaster. Half the guests had left. Marcus had gotten drunk and made a scene. Vanessa had cried through the reception. The photos were supposedly terrible. I heard all this through mutual friends. Through people who felt the need to give me updates I didn't ask for. Through social media posts that I definitely shouldn't have looked at but did anyway. Vanessa sent me one text. Just one. 2 weeks after her wedding. I hope you're happy. You got what you wanted. You ruined everything. I stared at that text for a long time. Then I typed back, I didn't ruin anything. I just stopped pretending. She never responded. My mother finally showed up at my house 3 weeks after the wedding. I opened the door and there she was, standing on my porch with red eyes and a wan smile. Can I come in? She asked. I almost said no. Almost closed the door in her face. But something stopped me. Maybe curiosity. Maybe hope. Maybe just exhaustion. Okay, I said. We sat in my living room. The one she'd never seen before because she'd never visited my house. David made himself scarce, disappearing into his office to give us privacy. Your home is beautiful, my mother said. Thank you. I liked the photos on the wall. She was looking at my wedding pictures. The ones I'd hung in the hallway. Me in Grandma's dress. David in his navy suit. Our friends and chosen family surrounding us with love. I wish I'd been there, she said. Me too. We sat in silence for a while. Uncomfortable. Heavy. I've been thinking a lot, my mother finally said. About what you said. About how I treated you. About how I let Vanessa treat you. Okay. And you were right. Her voice cracked. About all of it. I did favor her. I did let her bully you. I did make you feel like you had to compete for my love. Why? I asked. Why did you do that? She was quiet for a long time. When she spoke again, her voice was small. Because she reminded me of myself, she said. And you reminded me of your father. That hit me like a physical blow. What? Your father left me, she said. When you were 5 and Vanessa was 7. He left because he said I was too controlling. Too demanding. Too much. And you looked like him. You acted like him. You had his laugh and his stubbornness and his need to fix everything. So you punished me for it, I said. No. She shook her head. I mean, yes. But not on purpose. Every time I looked at you, I saw him. And it hurt. So I pulled away. And I let Vanessa be my favorite because she needed me in a way that felt safe. Manageable. That's not an excuse, I said. I know, she said. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm trying to explain. And to apologize. Really apologize. Okay, I said. Apologize. She took a deep breath. I'm sorry I wasn't there for your wedding. I'm sorry I didn't notice when you stopped calling. I'm sorry I made you feel like you had to compete with your sister for my love. I'm sorry I was a bad mother. The words hung in the air between us. And? I prompted. And, she looked confused. What are you going to do about it? I asked. Sorry is just a word, Mom. What are you actually going to do to change? She blinked. Like she hadn't expected the question. I don't know, she admitted. Tell me what you need. I need you to see me, I said. Really see me. Not as a shadow of Vanessa. Not as a reminder of Dad. But as me. Emma. Your daughter who is smart and funny and successful and married and trying to build a life. I can do that, she said. I need you to stop comparing us, I continued. Stop acting like Vanessa is the golden child and I'm the consolation prize. Okay. And I need you to hold Vanessa accountable, I said. For what she did. For hiding my invitation. For sabotaging my relationship with you. For everything. That made her hesitate. She's been going through a hard time. No, I cut her off. That's what you always do. You make excuses for her. But she's an adult, Mom. An adult who made conscious choices to hurt me. And if you want a relationship with me, you need to stop enabling her. I've already talked to her, my mother said quietly. After the wedding. She's staying with me right now. She and Marcus are separating. I wasn't expecting that. They're what? She came clean about everything, my mother said. About looking for him. About the competition with you. About why she really wanted to get married. And Marcus couldn't forgive her for it. He left. I didn't know how to feel about that. Part of me felt satisfied. Vindicated. But another part of me, a small part, felt sad for her. Is she okay? I asked. No, my mother said. She's devastated. And angry. Mostly at herself, I think. But also at me. At you. At everyone. Good, I said. Then felt guilty for saying it. She wants to talk to you, my mother said. Eventually. When you're ready. I'm not ready, I said immediately. I know. That's what I told her. We sat in silence again. But this time it felt different. Less heavy. Like maybe, possibly, we were starting to understand each other. Can I ask you something? My mother said. Sure. Why did you tell everyone at the wedding? Why did you do it then? I thought about it. Because I was tired of being invisible. Tired of swallowing my pain to make everyone else comfortable. And because I wanted her to feel, for one moment, how I've felt my entire life. Small, my mother said softly. Yes, I said. Small. I made you feel small, she said. Your whole life. Yes. I can't take that back, she said. I can't undo it. But I can try to do better going forward. If you'll let me. I looked at her. Really looked at her. She'd aged since I'd last seen her up close. There were lines around her eyes I didn't remember. Gray in her hair, she'd stopped dyeing. She looked tired. Sad. Human. I don't know if I can trust you again, I said honestly. Not right away. That's fair, she said. And I don't know if we can ever have a normal mother-daughter relationship. I understand. But maybe we can try, I said. Slowly. With boundaries. Her face lit up. Really? Really, I said. But if you miss my birthday, or forget to call, or compare me to Vanessa one more time, I'm done. For good. Do you understand? I understand, she said. I won't. I promise. Don't promise, I said. Just do it. She nodded. Okay. She stayed for another hour. We talked about small things. Safe things. My job. Her garden. The weather. She asked about David. About the house. About my plans for the holidays. When she left, she hugged me. A real hug. The kind I'd been craving my whole life. I love you, she said. I know I didn't show it. But I do. I love you so much. I love you too, I said. And I meant it. Even through all the hurt and anger and betrayal, I still loved her. She came back the next week. And the week after that. Always asking first. Always respecting my boundaries. We started having coffee together. Then lunch. Then she helped me paint the nursery. Yes, the nursery. Because a month after the wedding disaster, I found out I was pregnant. When I told my mother, she cried. Happy tears this time. And she asked if she could help with the baby when it came. If she could be there. Be present. Be the grandmother she hadn't been able to be as a mother. We'll see, I said, and we did see. Slowly, carefully, we rebuilt something. Not what we'd had before, because that had been broken from the start. But something new. Something healthier. Vanessa reached out 6 months later. A simple text. Can we talk? I didn't answer right away. I sat with it. Talked to David about it. Talked to my therapist about it. And then, finally, I texted back. Not yet. But maybe someday. She didn't push. Didn't demand. Just sent back a single word. Okay. My daughter was born on a Tuesday in May. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Perfect little fingers and toes. David cried when he held her. I cried. My mother cried. Vanessa sent flowers. And a card that said, "Congratulations, Auntie Emma." I kept the card. I'm not sure why. Maybe because it was the first time she'd acknowledged me as something other than competition. Maybe because I was tired of holding grudges. Maybe because becoming a mother made me understand, just a little, how complicated love and family can be. I haven't forgiven her. Not fully. Maybe I never will. but I'm trying to let go of the anger. Trying to focus on my own family. My own happiness. Because that's what the wedding disaster taught me. That I don't need to be perfect. Don't need to be the favorite. Don't need to compete for love. I just need to be me. And that's enough. My mother keeps her promises now. She calls every week. She visits twice a month. She brings toys for the baby and asks about my life and never, not once, compares me to Vanessa. When my daughter is old enough, I'll tell her this story. I'll tell her about the grandmother who missed my wedding and the aunt who threw away my invitation and the dramatic scene at the fancy ballroom. But I'll also tell her about second chances. About forgiveness. About how sometimes, the people who hurt us the most are the ones who are hurting themselves. And I'll tell her the most important thing I learned. That she should never, ever make herself small for anyone else's comfort. That her voice matters. That she deserves to be seen and heard and loved exactly as she is. Because I spent 28 years being invisible. Being the consolation prize. Being the sister who didn't matter as much. And then I stood up in that ballroom and I made myself seen. And yes, it was messy. Yes, it was dramatic. Yes, it probably ruined relationships beyond repair. But it also saved me. Because for the first time in my life, I chose myself. And that made all the difference. Looking back now, I don't regret what I did that day. I don't regret the scene or the tears or the exposed secrets. I don't regret making everyone uncomfortable or turning Vanessa's perfect wedding into chaos. Because sometimes, the only way to break free is to break everything. And sometimes, the only way to be found is to refuse to stay invisible. My mother raised her glass to my sister's wedding and asked me when it would be my turn. And I told her the truth. That it already happened. That she was invited. That her favorite daughter threw it in the trash. And in that moment, everything changed. Not all at once. Not perfectly. But slowly, painfully, honestly. We're all still healing. Still learning. Still trying to be better. But at least now, we're doing it with the truth out in the open. With no more secrets. No more pretending. And that's worth every uncomfortable moment in that ballroom. That's worth everything.